Welcome to Find Your Strong, the podcast that's here to help you free yourself from food rules, fitness guilt, and those weird detox teas.
Oh, do not get me started, Ella.
All right, I won't. I'm Ella, nutritionist and intuitive eating counselor.
And I'm Christine, personal trainer, intuitive eating counselor, and your hype woman for joyful movement.
You are, woohoo! Together we talk to experts, share stories, and hopefully leave you feeling a bit more at home in your body.
So if you're ready, let's find your strong.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Quick warning, both of us have got some croaky voices today, so there might be a little bit of coughing, a little bit of sexy, raspy kind of voice going on. But
I don't know if it's sexy. It's more like
I think it's
hacky.
hacky. My cough certainly is hacky.
Yeah.
It's made a reappearance. It's just like dry and irritating now.
Really
But
annoying.
hey,
That's really annoying.
it really is. But I've got my vase of ginger and honey. Got my
Nice.
cough pastil, so I'm all set. So what we're going to talk about today, Christine, I just thought this is something that's been coming up with my clients recently, and I think probably for your clients as well, is the ability, or maybe the lack of ability, to tune in and to notice and to observe when we do things in relation to food and to movement, really. It's like noticing when you're full, noticing when you're hungry, noticing how your body feels and observing this and doing it in a mindful way, which means without judgment, because very often when we notice or observe things, we have a sort of pre-made kind of meaning attached to it, which then makes it into potentially something negative, and then we draw on that like something's going wrong. Whereas if we learn to be mindful and observe and to notice, just being in the moment and not attaching a meaning to it, we might be able to just see it as something that's happening rather than something that is particularly meaningful to us. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting. I think we should break down today what we mean by mindful versus intuitive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, interestingly, well, it might not be. I always was turned off by mindful eating, by the
Oh,
by
were you? Okay.
the term mindful eating, because I just always envisioned sort of sitting with no noise, eating, really
Yeah.
slowly and savoring. And that's not something I can do as an
Yeah.
ADHD person. I tend to eat in a really non-mindful way, and that's maybe something we can break down.
Mm.
I usually, excuse me, you're gonna have to talk for me for a minute. Hold on.
I was gonna ask you a question. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that actually. It's interesting you should say that about with ADHD, it's difficult to actually be mindful, and often food is used as a as a stimulant, or as a dopamine hit, or as something to do. So it might not be super easy for some people to eat mindfully. Um, I I like that question and that sort of differentiating between mindful and intuitive. And immediately what I thought is like the clues in the word mind. So it's about focusing, it's about our mind and how we think about stuff and how we literally in our minds notice things, whereas intuitive is more about, well, what sensations are coming up and what kind of feeling comes up for us. And I had never really thought about the distinction in sort of semantics, but
Yeah.
it's an interesting one, because mindful eating is part of intuitive eating, but intuitive eating as a framework is obviously way broader than just about, how we eat and how mindful we are around that.
I think mindful eating, I think Evelyn Tribole in the book, and Elyse Resch, the authors of intuitive eating, did make it very clear that they are different.
Hmm.
And I think they're similar in many ways, but they don't have the same kind of social justice
Yeah.
element to them. And it's not to do with kind of weight stigma and
Yeah.
the non-diet approach, and it's just being mindful about what you're eating rather than
Yeah. Yeah.
intuitive
Exactly.
eating, which is a movement. It's kind of
Exactly.
a framework.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is mindful eating for you then? So you said you thought it was kind of no noise, no nothing, and just being sitting quietly and eating something. Is that sort of your idea of mindful eating?
Yeah, so this is why, because I know that you have a lot more knowledge about mindful eating. I trained in intuitive eating, so that's a
Mm,
very, I know the principles for intuitive eating, but I know very little about mindful eating.
mm,
Um, but I know the raisin test and
mm,
the eat the chocolate really slowly, and there is
mm,
value in that, huge
mm,
value.
mm.
But
Yeah. You're coughing. That's okay. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think the sort of the raisin thing is probably something that most people and probably most of our listeners have come across at least, is where you have a piece of food and you eat it really slowly, but before you eat it, you look at it, you touch it, you might smell it, you might give it a lick, you might just sort of just observe what's going on when you look at it. When in anticipation you notice that maybe your mouth starts producing saliva, all of those things. That's a mindful eating exercise. So that's something obviously we can't do with every mouthful of every meal, because then we wouldn't be able to go to work or do anything else that we like doing, because we'd just be eating very, very slowly. So yeah, that's the sort of the classic kind of exercise around it. I would say mindful eating is it can be a lot more relaxed. Like I approach mindfulness in a very sort of more in a slightly different and less formal way. I feel like you can be mindful literally with anything that you do. I can be mindful right now, just sitting, looking at my microphone, looking at the screen, feeling my bum on my chair, noticing that my throat's getting dry and I'll probably have to pop a pill in a minute,
yeah, me too.
without really judging anything. So mindfulness is about just being present and observing what is going on for you right now, but not attaching meaning to it. Just saying, okay, I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at Christine. My light is on. It's looking a little bit gray outside. I'm feeling slightly stiff in my upper back, that kind of thing. Just noticing. And you can do that when you brush your teeth. You can do that when you eat. You could just see, oh, look, isn't it interesting how I can grab a fork and it goes straight to my mouth without me even having to think about it. It's those kind of things. That's how I often explain mindfulness to people, because it makes it less scary, because people always think mindfulness is like meditating, sitting on a cushion and being all like, oh, about it. And,
But that is similar in a way to intuitive eating because it is about tuning into your signals and but that's more, into your hunger and fullness signals, but it is also into all of your signals in terms of
Mm,
movement, how you're feeling in your body, all of that.
mm.
So how does that differ from mindfulness? Is there crossover there?
Yeah, I would say there's a crossover, definitely. But I think that is part of intuitive eating. But as you said before, intuitive eating is a lot more.
Yes,
There's
yeah,
a lot more to it than
yeah.
just that aspect
That
of
aspect of it.
of tuning in. And
Yeah.
and would you say, how would you say mindfulness with movement would, how would you explain to a client mindfulness and movement?
I don't call it mindfulness because I
What do
don't
you
know,
call
for some reason that turns me off. I call it intuitive movement or just tuning in to your body.
it? Yeah.
Um, because I think that's, and just taking time. And it is definitely mindful, but it is
Mm,
more when you start a workout, okay, how do I feel? Is it my achy in my shoulders? What hurts? What doesn't hurt? Where is my energy today? Do I
hmm
feel like full of energy? Do I need to release some energy? Am I angry? Do I think this workout will help? Or am I tired? Do I want to take it easy today? Oh, my left knee's sore. Maybe I'll take it slightly easy in my squats. Maybe it's just about tuning in, noticing
mm,
it's mainly energy levels, how you feeling, being is leading with that self-compassion. So knowing if you're
mm,
low in energy, you're not going to push yourself or force yourself to work out in a way that doesn't serve you.
mm,
Um, so that's how I would think about mindfulness in terms of movement. And I start
hmm
every session with that. And it's even if somebody just tunes in for a couple of minutes every day, it's really
mm.
helpful. I find it really helpful.
Yeah. And would you say that the non-judgment element of the mindfulness part, is that part of how you explain it? Like if you're tired, that's not a bad thing. that
Yeah.
is a neutral thing, that is just something that you're observing, or?
Yeah, coming as you are.
Mm,
Come as you are, and
mm,
what you can do on any given day. And all
mm,
days are different. Any one week is different from the next.
mm,
No, it's just normalizing that, and
mm,
not feeling, oh, you couldn't do all the workout. Oh no, no, that's fine.
mm,
Do half of it. Do 5 minutes. It's really given and making sure people know it's their workout, not mine. I'm just
mm,
there to facilitate. It's your
mhm,
workout.
mhm,
You don't have to do what I'm saying to the letter.
mhm,
I'm going to offer you options. Do what
mhm.
you want to do, you know?
Yeah,
Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah. It does make sense. And I've obviously, having attended some of your classes, that's what I really love about it. There's no, this is the better option or this is the higher
No.
option. It's just like these are the different choices you can make depending on how your body is feeling right now. And I think that's quite hard for some people, the non-judgment element, in food and in movement. And I think a
Mm,
lot of my clients struggle with that judgment element because they might be eating something and there's an automatic judgment of the food that I'm eating is, I don't know, bad for me or unhealthy or whatever they want to call it. Or, I'm eating this and I'm not hungry, therefore I'm judging myself for it. There's guilt and shame attached to it. So it's finding a moment of just noticing and observing. I prefer, I don't often use the word mindfulness either, really. It's just more of a concept.
mm,
I always invite people to notice without judging, just to become aware. Because if you're not aware, you can't really do anything about it, or you can't really reflect on it. But if you become aware of something and you notice something without judging it, I think that's when you can kind of maybe see patterns, or you can see where things don't feel great. Does that make sense?
yeah, and I think everybody has got to come to it in their own way. So I
Mm.
think you don't have to. So I was listening to a podcast this morning. You don't have to sit and do meditation for half
Mm.
an hour, or you don't,
No,
not that's not going to be for everybody,
no.
especially if you've got an incredibly busy brain and you're all
Mm,
over the place with
mm,
ADHD brain.
mhm,
It's not going to serve you just to sort of sit and think, what do I see? Because
mm.
your head will be like, but I have to do this, and then I haven't done, and you'll be off on a different tangent and
Yeah,
cleaning the floor and doing something else.
yeah.
So it's about finding how to be mindful in a way that works for you, if you know what I mean.
Mm,
For me, I've just forgiven myself in terms of being mindful around food
mm,
when I'm eating. I do
mm,
watch TV when I'm on
mhm,
my own eating because
mhm,
it's a joy for me. It's a time of
mhm,
day that I can watch my favorite show and eat really nice food.
mhm,
That is a pleasure of my life.
mhm.
And I'm not going to
Brilliant.
just sit and eat without anything.
No.
I'm sure I could.
Mm.
And,
Yeah, but if it's not enjoyable, I think again, if we're so strict with us that we say we can only ever eat without any distractions, then it's becoming a rule, isn't it? It's
yes,
not it's
yes,
not intuitive
exactly.
anymore then, because intuitively you want to sit on your sofa with your plate of food and watch your favorite program, and that is joy. And I
Yeah.
think we have to be careful not to step sort of into the this is right and this is wrong when it
Yeah.
comes to mindfulness and mindful eating.
And I mean, definitely if, at meal times we all sit and chat, that's
Mm,
not, but if I'm on my own, I just either read a book, watch a show. I just like
mm,
it. It's just something
mm.
that brings me joy. And I
Yeah.
think I do, maybe it's the brain. I struggle with the complete silence. And,
Mm.
I have a thing about chewing. I hate the sound of people chewing.
Oh, me too.
Hate it. So,
Mm.
yeah. So I like a bit of noise
Yeah.
when I'm eating.
Yeah, I hear you. I just find that I sometimes have to leave the room. My daughter's the same. I sometimes just voluntarily go into the other room when we're eating together because she's like, oh, I can tell some days she's fine and some days she's like, no, mommy.
That is a condition called misophonia.
Mm,
The actual thing
mm,
is often so I think it's comorbidities. There's lots of things. So if you have
mm,
ADHD or autism, you're much more
mm,
likely to have
mm.
misophonia. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, no,
good.
I've
You
I've
got
learned
out,
about it in a course actually. It's very, very
did you?
interesting. So it's an actual thing, absolutely. But what
Mm,
what I just one thing that I want to say to the distractions while you're eating, and I'm 100% on that because I do the same. I'm not someone who just sits there in silence. I usually either look at my phone or I watch some telly. Um, every now and again I sit because I just can't hear. I don't want to hear anything. I just
Yeah.
want silence.
Yeah.
But it makes it harder to tune in because you're
Yeah.
distracted. That's the one thing that I would say. If that is something, if tuning in is something you're struggling with, I would say maybe once a week, find a time when you don't have distractions, just so that you can practice tuning in. Because when you have the telly on, or you're reading, I don't know, watching reels on your phone or whatever, or even reading a book, and eating at the same time, you're not tuning in to how your body feels while you're eating. That's the one thing that I'd say. If that's something that people struggle with, maybe find just one meal a week. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be all meals, but maybe one
Yeah.
a week to practice.
I mean, I think that's a great idea. I think that maybe for somebody with a very busy brain, that's going to be very challenging.
Mm. Yeah.
Just to sit there and think about, oh, how is this food making me feel
Mm-hmm.
at the moment?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing, I mean, we can talk about that again, but
Mm.
one other thing I find is a bit diety. I've always found mindful eating a bit diety.
Mm.
And that's only because I think we're going really slow so we don't get too
Yeah.
full and we can stop before. And
Mm.
it's, do you know what I mean? There was many
Yeah.
diets that used to be about chew your food 40
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And don't eat too much. And I think when I was in the throes of anorexia, I used to eat really slowly and with a tiny
Mm-hmm.
spoon so that I would
Mm-hmm.
last longer and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's almost those behaviors I find quite triggering, actually.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but maybe that's where it's coming from.
Yeah, could be. Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it might not be for everybody. I think it's how you I don't know, maybe it's how you do it rather than I totally agree that it has been a diet tool for sure. The slow
Mm.
eating, the if you use it as a tool to eat less,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
intuitively you want to eat, then it's not a good tool to use at all. If it's something that you use because you think, oh, if I do this all the time I might lose weight, then I'd stay clear of it because you're still
Yeah.
in the diet mindset for sure. And I get that if you come from a restrictive eating disorder and that was one of the things that you used
Yeah.
to feed
Yeah.
the eating disorder, maybe don't.
Mm.
All I'm saying is, if you want to learn how to tune in, it is harder when you have distractions. But maybe tuning in is also too scary at this moment in time. So if
So,
you're in that place, don't go there. Don't.
yeah.
It's still available to you later on in your journey.
It's a really interesting one. I've never thought about it. So I feel intuitive eating for me, in terms of my life, means that I'm checking in with my hunger and fullness signals
Mm-hmm.
throughout the day
Mm-hmm.
with my energy level. So if I eat breakfast, then I go, oh, I'm quite full, so I don't need anything else. If I go, oh, I feel hungry,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna eat. So I don't then I'm not mindful when I'm eating necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always thinking in terms of my hunger and fullness scale
Mm-hmm.
before and after.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. That
So,
is brilliant because you are able to do that.
yeah.
For someone who's not able to do that, practicing that mindful eating can be really helpful. But you obviously you know what hunger looks like for you.
Yes,
You
yes, I
know what
do.
being
Yeah.
full looks like for you.
Hmm.
For some people that is not accessible yet.
Very good point. Very good
So
point.
I totally agree that if you can do that and tap into that before you eat, then it doesn't really matter so much what you do while you're eating
Yeah,
anymore because you've already sort of practiced that. Does that make sense?
yeah.
So it's like we keep asking us each other if things make sense that we're saying
I know.
today. You notice. Um,
That's just it's something I say all the time that
me too. Me too. I read somewhere that you shouldn't say that because of I
I
can't remember
know.
why, but I
It's
say
like
it
saying
all the time.
sorry. Sorry. Does that
Yeah,
make
sorry. Yeah, I
Mhm.
know. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? It's almost like I'm doubting myself.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
doubting myself, but I'm just like, okay, I need to stop doing that.
You just
Anyway.
spent too much time with me apologizing and asking if it makes sense.
We we rub off on each other. But yeah. So yeah, that
It's really interesting. That's really interesting. So, for somebody that is really struggling to tune into their bodies, What would be the first step? So shall I say what I would say? So
Go
I
on.
always look at it in terms of movement. If you can sort of look at it in terms of food, then
Mm,
in terms of movement, I always think in the morning, spend like a minute. It doesn't have to be a non-distracted minute. It could just be a minute of right, how do I feel today?
mm,
Or what is my energy like today?
mm,
Or how do I want to feel when I move my body? So I'll get up in the morning and I'll be like, I'm feeling anxious. I want to feel a little bit of peace, or I want to feel a little bit more at ease. So I want
mm-hmm,
a hard workout. Or I'm
mm-hmm,
like, I'm quite tired actually. I want something that's quite chilled and close to the ground and
mm-hmm,
just
mm-hmm,
focus on my breath and all of that. So it's that takes a hell of a lot of practice. So all I'm saying is for 1 minute a day, just think about how's my shoulder feeling? That was a bit achy yesterday. How's my, and if you're sitting in a chair, am I sitting with my weight even across both sit bones? What's my posture like? Even a little thing, just thinking about
mm,
your body in terms of what does it feel like? What's this shoulder feel like? What does my leg feel like? How is my knee today? How is, anything like that is a great way to start.
mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think that sounds great because what you're basically doing is you're tuning in just
Yeah,
for that 1 minute. And I love that because a minute is doable. It's not like, oh
doable.
my God, I have to sit there for half an hour and meditate on how I'm feeling today. It's
No.
none of that. It's about literally give yourself a minute, just check out what, what's
Yeah, you
going on. Yeah,
do some
just do
shoulder
that.
rolls.
And you
Do a
notice
little
then,
neck
don't you? You notice
circle.
where the stiffness is and where you're like maybe
Yeah.
achy or,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
you
like
don't have
that a
to
lot.
sit still and go, how am I feeling? Do a spinal roll and go,
Mm,
oh, that
mm,
doesn't feel great on my left side. Just
mm,
anything at all, like a little tiny bit of a movement or a bit of a
mm.
stretch, and just notice how
Notice,
your body
yeah.
feels.
Yeah, yeah, and then sort of respond to it by not making it a massive thing, but just noticing it and seeing it as a neutral. Oh, okay, that's the state of my body today, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to. I
And
like
that's
that.
the freedom of not working out to lose weight or look a certain.
Yeah,
Because it's not about that. It's not
no,
about, oh, but I need to burn this number of calories before I can have my breakfast. No, it isn't. It's
yeah,
about, but I want to work out so that I feel good in my
yeah,
body. That's
yeah,
basically the only reason,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and it's
yeah, and
taking care of
it makes
myself.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense that it would lead to that by
Mm,
just doing that little check-in. Love that.
exactly. So tell me about you. Tell me about what would the first step be towards eating mindfully or,
Eating mindfully. I think it really depends. I would have to say. I'm going to be super vague here because it depends on the person. So if I'm talking to somebody who has a real fear of, because food often has this kind of guilt, shame, fear, anxiety attached to it. Maybe, I don't know, you tell me if I'm wrong, but maybe more so than just sort of going into your body for a minute and checking
yeah,
out how you're feeling. Food has got this massive meaning attached to it, and it can be a big sort of trigger for people.
yeah,
So if that is the case, I probably would stay clear of food and practice noticing in general. Maybe do some grounding, maybe do some breath if that feels safe, just to tune into sensations in the body.
yeah,
Even just
yeah.
doing, the interoceptive awareness thing where you notice your heart rate. A lot
Your
of
heart
people
rate.
can't feel that sort of thing. Or just talk about, what it feels like when you need to go to the loo or, you know, anything like that. I'll probably go with that instead of going straight to food. But with other people, it might be that mindfulness around one meal a week where you sit down and you try and tune into how am I feeling before I'm eating? How am I feeling during? And how am I feeling afterwards? Notice taste, sensation, textures. Do I actually like this? That kind of thing.
Hmm.
So, explaining to people that this is I always I always tell people that everything that I ask them to or invite them to do, I don't ask them to do anything, but invite them to do is an experiment. It's data collection. Those people who work with me who might be listening, I don't know if anyone's listening, but they will be sick to their teeth about data collection because I've got a science background, so it's all about data collection, and I think I just sort of describe it as that, and that sometimes takes the fear away. but it's about the noticing in the moment and trying to practice that. And that you can apply that to anything that's not as scary as food. It could be literally brushing your teeth, pouring a glass of water, making a cup of tea, anything, just to
Yeah.
practice that muscle of noticing and of being mindful in the moment. And then maybe we can explore food a little bit.
And it's, it's almost like a bit of nervous system regulation as well,
Oh,
isn't it?
uh,
Tuning in.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And just kind of noticing where you're at and doing some
Yeah.
calming practices and
Yeah.
and I think there's a real sense of, oh, you've got to meditate, you've got to sit still, you've got to do that. No, and
Mm,
that's what I always encourage people: get into your body. If you're really
mm,
in your head, just get into your
mm,
body and move a little bit. And
mm,
one thing that I often do, which we've talked about, is balance, because
mm.
balance will take you out of your head, because you have got to focus on the
Yeah.
here and the now.
Yes.
You have got to focus on it. Now, there's often judgment.
Mm,
People will often judge themselves. I'm rubbish at balance. I can't. But actually, and that's why I always
mm.
say balance is a practice. It's something that you can practice, and
Yeah.
some days you're going to feel more balanced than others. And it's, but
Yeah.
it is, you don't have to sit still to be mindful. You don't have to stop and have nothing. You can get into your body and move a little bit, or do
Yeah.
a stretch, or do a scream, or do a shout, or it's just, as you say, just noticing, just taking a second and finding the way that works for you.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's interesting that you're saying that there are certain things, especially around food, are really triggering for people.
Mm,
So you've got to not put yourself in a position that doesn't feel safe for you, or a situation that doesn't
mm.
feel safe for you.
Yeah.
And I think Evelyn Tribole talked about the fact that intuitive eating is like writing your name with your other hand, isn't it?
Mm,
It takes
yeah.
a lot of practice and time and effort.
It does.
You're not going to be able to do it at the beginning. And that's,
No.
it's nobody can.
No, absolutely. And it's also about recognizing that intuitive eating isn't an end goal. It's not something to
Yeah.
it's a practice and we learn all the time because we're continuously collecting data. Um,
Yeah.
but do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
very much a practice, not a shiny object that we want to get to.
Well,
That's sort of how I feel about it. An interesting thing with the nervous system regulation. This might be a slight tangent, but this is something that I read in Sarah Dosanjh's book, and Sarah's going to come on the pod in a couple of weeks, which I'm very excited
yay.
for. Um, she she talked about how um, we often use food to regulate our nervous system because by the sheer mechanism of eating, we're signaling to our body that, well, we can't be under attack because clearly that person's eating, so they must be safe. And that activates the parasympathetic nervous system and the rest and digest phase. Just from just the eating makes that activates
Mm.
that. So um, when we notice that we're using that as a way to calm our nervous system down, I think that might be a good point to stop and pause and maybe think about what alternative ways could I find to be a bit more mindful around that and maybe find things that work maybe slightly more efficiently and better for me than using food if that is an issue for somebody. So I'm sort of tying in that kind of mindfulness element and that observation into that.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting with the digestive, the rest and digest for the parasympathetic nervous system,
Mm,
because actually digestive issues are also a sign or indicate that we may be dysregulated in terms of our
mm,
nervous system, because we're not
mm.
getting into that rest and digest.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's lots around that. So I can't
There's
wait
loads.
to chat
Yeah,
more about that. But
yeah,
that's really interesting, and that's part of coping with your feelings with kindness, isn't it? So it's another
that's right.
principle of intuitive eating. Look at that,
Yeah.
tying it all together, aren't we?
Wow.
Right, Ella, let's nutshell it.
Nutshell it. Okay. Do you want to go first?
Did you just go, what is she saying? Did you just have a minute
I had
going,
a moment
what?
there. I thought not shell
I know, it's
what,
my
and then I
accent.
thought
I'm
no,
sorry.
nutshell it. Yeah.
It's
And I love that you made that into a verb. I love that so much.
nutshell
That's
it.
great.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's nutshell it.
let's do it. So I just think, first of all, be kind to yourself because we're never
Mm-hmm.
kind enough to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, so do less, lower the bar. So maybe 30 seconds, 1 minute every day of just trying to notice how you feel in your body. That's
Yeah,
that's it. Like make it small.
absolutely.
Yeah, there's no point in trying
Absolutely.
to change everything. There's zero
No,
point in that. So just make it really small.
perfect. Yeah, agree. I'd put that in a nutshell as well. And also, I would add to that, I've got another little shell next to it, which is to an invitation to not do formal mindfulness necessarily, but just to notice when you eat, when you feel hungry, when whatever's going on, just notice and try not to judge it. Try and take the meaning out of what you notice. Just
Hmm.
be in the present and maybe use, in terms of grammar, use a present continuous way of saying it. I'm noticing that I am doing this, or I am noticing that I am thinking this, because then you don't make it part of your story, like, oh, I always do this or I always do that. So just try and be in the moment and notice. But it doesn't have to be formal.
I love that, Ella.
Hmm,
I love that. And I'm going to try and eat some chocolate this week mindfully.
lovely.
Like, I really struggle with chocolate. I just want to eat it quickly, you
Do
know?
you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it hard to chew chocolate, so I often just have it in my mouth, melt it, because I find it when it is in my teeth, I just don't like that for some reason, chocolate. I don't know.
I don't understand what you're saying.
No, clearly not.
Like,
On
what?
that
What do you
note,
mean? So yes, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will be back next week. So look
Mhm.
out for it. But until then, have a lovely